Music by Diallo, GTA type beat, from the YouTube audio library.
Welcome to the very first episode of Plugged In, the podcast where we explore how technology and innovation are transforming teaching and learning in Troup County schools. I'm your host, Yashika Brooks.
And I'm Emmanuel Reddish. Each episode will bring you real stories from the classroom, fresh tools you can use right away, and inspiring conversations with educators who are making a difference.
And today we're kicking things off with a very special guest, LaGrange High School's own Aidan Blackwell.
Hey, good morning.
He is Teacher of the Year for Troup County Schools. We'll be talking about what the recognition means, how he's using technology to engage students, and his advice for teachers who want to innovate.
Let's get plugged in.
Aidan, thank you for joining us today and for being our very first guest.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's start with the big one. What does it mean to you to be named Teacher of the Year?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know what it means to me specifically. While it is like an individual thing, I guess it's really not. So how Teacher of the Year works, for those that don't know, so school nominates a teacher, right? And there's elementary teachers, there's high school teachers, and then our programs, Hope, and then Think Academy. And then there's the teachers who are nominated from each school have to send a bunch of essays in and resume and non-descriptive, so like they shouldn't know it's my resume when it goes in. And then there's a selection from high school and then middle school and elementary. And then those three teachers are observed by a panel of judges who are not inside the county. And then there's an interview process after that. And so I thought a lot about this. Actually, I just spoke to LaGrange College this past weekend kind of about the same stuff. And I think that, and they don't tell you this, but I would imagine that the experience I've had in like the 20 years I've been in Troup County kind of separated me a little bit. And when I think more about that, I don't get those experiences without leaders in the buildings that I've worked in who have said, this person has some type of quality, and I want to develop that quality. And so when I spoke to LaGrange College, it was to Tier 1, Tier 2 certificate people. And that's a message to future leaders, is that leadership is not about right now. Leadership is about developing future leaders, right? Like we're all going to retire. You know, we hope we're going to retire, right? And the school's going to keep going. So we have to develop the people that'll continue the goal and the mission of education. I think that was one. I don't win Teacher of the Year without the principals and administrators and colleagues, I'll say. There's nothing that I do that's individual or that's me. I am very collaborative with the people I work with, and I'll shout them out: Aaron Calhoun, Lindsay Trenrud, Jamie Bozeman when he was my interning teacher, Ryan Slay, who's now working with you all over at Central Office. You know, throughout my career, I've had this group of teachers that push me, Laura Lee Pike, who push me to be better, who, we're going to talk about innovation, who help me be innovative, who we challenge each other, and that's really the other message. Teacher of the Year is, there's one person that wins it, but I'm not Teacher of the Year without the people that I've worked with for 20 years and the leaders that I've had that have allowed me to, have certain experiences.
All right, that's a good answer. How do you use technology to try to engage your students?
Yeah. It's funny. So the other conversation, we had a little panel discussion at LaGrange College, and we talked about AI, like it's the future, right? And everybody's scared of AI. And one of my roles here at LaGrange is I'm a coordinator for the IB program. We're not going to be afraid of technology. We're not going to be afraid of AI. We need to embrace AI. We need to embrace the technology. Can I teach with a chalkboard and a piece of chalk? 1,000% could do that, because it's teaching's not about, I don't believe, the tools you use. Yeah. It's about the relationships you build, and it's about your processes and your knowledge of your content, stuff like that. But technology can make it way more engaging, for sure. I know that teachers can look at AI. I think teachers look at AI two ways. I think teachers look at AI as a way that they can use it, and we got teachers that are using the crud out of some AI. Stacy Bullock, if anybody out there listening wants to know about Magic School, I think is what it's called. My gosh, Stacy is killing it with Magic School, and if anybody wants her email, just plug it into the county email. But Stacy Bullock, plug. But teachers look at it as a tool that they can use, and then they look at how students use it. And I think the initial reaction is that students are using it unethically, right? They're using it to cheat. Well, that's not always true. It might be the knee-jerk thing that students want to do, but AI is a tool we should use. I'm gonna get my ADS, and I had this quote from Socrates about the invention of writing, and about how it was going to make people lazier because now they won't have to think because they'll just be able to write things down. They'll remember things. As far back as forever, people have been afraid of innovation and technology. Our job as teachers is not to just teach our content, it's to help these students be active and engaged members of society moving forward. And we can't do that if we don't allow students or teach students to use this innovation ethically and morally and as a tool. So I'm all for AI. I'm project-based in my classes, almost about probably 90% project-based, inquiry-based instructional methods. In my projects, the students have to use AI. It's not a we're not going to, we have to, period. Now, that being said, I understand that some teachers are not for that. I teach social studies. The math teacher doesn't want a kid scanning a math problem and getting the answer and then not knowing how to do it. That's not a proper way to use AI. So like from teacher to teacher, there might be some discrepancy on what we use and don't use. Mm-hmm. We have a responsibility as teachers. As a teacher, my classroom expectations should be 100% clear to students. The student should have no doubt that if they're using technology in any way, the teacher accepts this, the teacher does not accept that. Or if there is some gray area because technology is ever advancing, way beyond what we're even aware of, right? Sure. Yeah. So then the relationship in the classroom, the culture of the classroom should be one where the student is willing to ask the teacher, hey, is it okay if I do this? Can I plug these notes into ChatGPT and ask it to make me a script for this movie I'm doing? Well, the answer to that's no, but thank you for asking that. Like, that's the relationship aspect of it. So there's a lot of things that play in when we talk about innovation and technology. And I know you didn't ask about AI, but it is like the hot topic right now. In my class and in my context, we don't run from technology. The expectation is we're gonna use it. Yeah. And if you use it unethically, you're not gonna get in trouble. It's a conversation about that was not the proper way. Same thing with cell phones. I know we're all big on banning cell phones right now. And I get it. I've read The Anxious Generation. Like, I've read that book too, which is one book, one perspective on the issue. But like for my class, we do a lot of research. Well, our school Wi-Fi blocks a lot of tools that students need for research. So why would I not let them get their phones to bypass the blocking? It's just about teaching kids the ethical, professional way to use these tools.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. All right. What advice would you give teachers who want to bring innovation into that classroom? I know you spoke a little bit about, some teachers don't want to use it, some teachers do, but what advice would you give those?
I think it's just to do it. I think that innovation scares people, and I think that's part of that AI conversation, right? Sometimes we as teachers have to be risk takers, and some things are not going to work out. And something, it's like trying a new lesson. As a teacher, I'm an older teacher now, and I could do the lessons I did 5 or 6 years ago. I could do that 100%. And I could say, this one I know has worked, it's going to work okay, whatever. But that's not what it's about. It's about changing and evolving. And if you have something that you want to incorporate in your classroom, just do it. And if it doesn't go well, reflect and do it better and collaborate with other people. Like me, if I wanted to, I don't use Magic School, but if I wanted to, I would go to Stacy and say, talk to me about this. You both work for our county. Y'all are people that people can talk and reach out to and collaborate with. We need to be risk takers. We ask our students to be risk takers. We should be risk takers as well in our profession and not lean or fall back on our laurels and do things that have worked in the past. Well, if we only do that, then we're never pushing forward. And if the kids are going to use innovation and the kids are going to know technology, then why would we not incorporate that world into what we're doing in our classroom? So anybody that wants to be innovative, one, do it. Take the leap, do it. If it doesn't work, reflect, get better at it, and then collaborate. Find people that are more knowledgeable than you and learn from them and work together and find new ways to incorporate things. Get on TikTok, get on Instagram. There's so many cool teacher accounts out there where they're talking about this innovation. There's no reason to run from that.
I agree.
I'll say like another way that we use it as an IB program. So Lindsay Trinder and I took over the IB program this year, and we have an Instagram account. It had 4 posts when we took over. We've been in the IB program for 4 years. We took it over last March. 4 posts. Well, we made 1 post this summer, which was just a picture about EE on the Hill. EE is this IB assignment that they have to do. Lindsay goes to Pilates, and they're like, I saw that post. That was awesome. What's EE? Well, now we've opened up the conversation. And so much of our world is about just communicating with each other. So like innovation, even as simple as just using Instagram to promote what it is you're doing in your classroom. So people say, oh, and it's not saying, I love that. That's a great idea. I love that lesson. It might just be, what is that lesson? Let's open up that conversation with parents, students, community members, all stakeholders. It's just like so much innovation and technology that we should be using in school. We've got to move forward as an educational program.
Well, we thank you for your time. Now we're going to go to a tech tip. And now it's time for our weekly tech tip segment. Teachers, we've got something new for you. We now have a new link where you can request one-on-one or small group support with Instructional Technology. You'll be able to choose a time that works best for you, and we'll meet with you directly to enhance your instructional practices.
Some of the tools we can help with include Progress Learning, Kami, Canva, Cloud 12, Brisk Teaching, AI tools, School Status, ClassWise, Google Workspace, Active Panels, and more.
So if you need support, don't hesitate to submit a request. We're here to make sure you feel confident using the technology available in your classrooms.
I loved how Aidan talked a lot about risk takers in education, and that brings me to another point. Before we wrap up today, we want to give a shout out to Project Elevate, an amazing initiative that's empowering our students and staff. On Thursday, October 16th, 2025, there will be another informational session at 4:30 where anyone can come and join the informational session to learn how you can be a risk taker and partner up with the RCA, who is known for their high energy learning environment. Also, if you're a principal, we also have Project Elevate for Principals, where you can also join that meeting as well.
We'll continue highlighting exciting programs and sharing upcoming events in each episode. So be sure to listen all the way through. Wow, what a great conversation we've had today with Aidan Blackwell. His passion for teaching and his use of technology to connect with his students really shows why he's Teacher of the Year.
Yes, I agree. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to Plugged In so you don't miss our future conversations with teachers, leaders, and innovators across Troup County schools.
And don't forget, each week we'll also be sharing quick tech tips and classroom stories to keep you connected and inspired.
Thank you again to Aidan for being our very first guest, and thank you for listening. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired,
and stay plugged in.
You've been listening to Plugged In. Thanks for tuning in. Theme music by Diallo, courtesy of the YouTube audio library. Special thanks to Mike Evans. Until next time, stay plugged in.